Welcome to the channel, everyone. Today we're talking tractors. Now I know what you're thinking. Tractors? A bit dull, aren't they? Like watching paint dry on a brick wall. But trust me on this one, because we're not just talking about any old tractors. We're on a mission to uncover whether all this newfangled technology is actually any good, or if just maybe the old ways were the best. We'll be comparing vintage tractors, the ones your granddad probably used to complain were uncomfortable and slow, with the modern marvels that look more like spaceships than farm equipment. Sat-nav, climate control, more screens than a small cinema. They've got it all. But are these fancy features just expensive gimmicks, or are they the future of farming? Hold on to your hats, because we're about to delve into the nitty-gritty of vintage versus modern tractors. Get ready for a bumpy ride. Right then, let's start at the beginning, shall we? Vintage tractors. These weren't just machines, they were practically members of the family. Passed down through generations, held together with more prayers and duct tape than actual engineering. But you know what? They worked. These tractors were built in a time when things were made to last. Solid steel, thick gears, engines you could rebuild in your sleep with a rusty spanner and a prayer. They were basic, yes, but they were reliable. And let's not forget the sound. None of this whisper-quiet electric nonsense you get nowadays. These old girls roared to life with a proper cough and splutter, a plume of diesel smoke announcing their arrival like a Viking longship on the horizon. They were honest machines, these tractors. No power steering, no fancy electronics. You wrestled them into submission with sheer brute force and a whole lot of swearing. And you know what? It was bloody satisfying. You felt connected to the land, to the work. It was man and machine versus the elements. A battle fought with grit, determination, and a good pair of work boots. Sure, they might not have been the fastest or the most comfortable, but they had character, bags of it. And in a world of increasingly disposable everything, there's something to be said for that, isn't there? These were the tractors that built the agricultural world we know today. They plowed the fields, harvested the crops, and kept the world fed. So, hats off to the vintage tractors, the Iron Age heroes of the farming world. Now let's talk about their modern counterparts. These things are more spaceship than tractor. Touchscreen displays, climate control, GPS-guided steering. You're more likely to find a USB port than a dipstick on these machines. They're packed with more technology than a Silicon Valley startup. Sensors monitor everything from fuel efficiency to soil composition. Automated systems adjust the plow depth and seeding rate with pinpoint accuracy. It's all terribly clever, really, and don't even get me started on the comfort levels. Air-conditioned cabs, heated seats, sound systems that would make a Bentley blush. These days, farmers are more likely to be complaining about missing their favorite podcast than a sore back. These machines are undeniably impressive. They're efficient, precise, and can work a field faster than you can say combine harvester. But are they really better? That's the question, isn't it? Have we traded character for convenience, durability for digital displays? Don't get me wrong, I appreciate a good gadget as much as the next person. But there's a part of me that can't help but wonder if we've lost something along the way. Where's the joy in a tractor that drives itself? What happened to the satisfaction of a hard day's work? The feeling of sweat and diesel fumes clinging to your overalls. These modern marvels might be the future of farming, but I can't help but feel a pang of nostalgia for the simpler days of roaring engines and brute force. Chapter 3, Built to Last, the durability debate. Now let's talk about something that really gets my engine revving, durability. Because when it comes to tractors, it's not just about how fancy they are, it's about how much punishment they can take. Vintage tractors were built like tanks. You could drop them from a low-flying aircraft and they'd probably just cough, splutter, and ask for more. They were designed to be fixed, with parts you could actually get your hands on without needing a degree in computer science. Modern tractors, however, well, that's a different story. All those electronics and sensors might look impressive in the showroom, but out in the field, they're about as robust as a chocolate teapot in a heat wave. One errant tree branch, a bit of unexpected moisture, and suddenly you've got yourself a very expensive light show. And don't even think about trying to fix it yourself unless you've got a team of NASA engineers on speed dial. Now, I'm not saying that all modern tractors are unreliable, but there's no denying that they're more complex, which often translates to more things that can go wrong. And when they do go wrong, be prepared to remortgage your farm to pay for the repairs. Give me a vintage tractor any day. They might leak oil, they might rattle, and they might require a bit more welly to get going on a cold morning, but they won't let you down when it matters. They're the dependable old workhorses of the farming world. The ones you can always rely on to get the job done, no matter what. And that, my friends, is worth its weight in gold. Chapter 4. The price of progress, cost, and maintenance. Let's talk money, shall we? Because let's face it, farming isn't just about muddy fields and early mornings, it's a business. And in business, the bottom line matters. Vintage tractors have one big advantage here. They're cheap. Dirt cheap. You can pick up a perfectly serviceable one for the price of a second-hand hatchback. And when it comes to parts, well, let's just say there's a reason scrapyards are full of them. Modern tractors, on the other hand, will set you back more than a small island. And that's before you factor in the eye-watering cost of parts, servicing, and software updates. Yes, you heard that right, software updates, for a tractor. Now, I like a good gadget as much as the next person, but do I really need my tractor to have the latest operating system? Will it help me plow the field any straighter? Will it make the crops grow faster? I suspect not, but it will certainly make the bank manager wince. And don't even get me started on the specialized tools and diagnostics you need to work on these modern machines. Gone are the days of a hammer, a wrench, and a bit of elbow grease. Nowadays, you need a computer science degree and a team of trained technicians just to change a spark plug. So while modern tractors might be more efficient and technologically advanced, they come with a hefty price tag. And that's something that farmers who are already operating on tight margins have to carefully consider. Chapter 5. Plowing a Greener Future Environmental Impact. Now let's talk about something close to all our hearts: the environment. Because whether you're a tree-hugging activist or a die-hard petrol head, we all have a responsibility to look after this planet of ours. When it comes to tractors, the environmental impact is a complex issue. Vintage tractors, with their smoky diesel engines and lack of emissions controls, are hardly paragons of environmental virtue. They're about as eco-friendly as a coal-fired power station. Modern tractors, on the other hand, are generally more fuel-efficient and have cleaner-burning engines. They also often come with features like precision spraying and variable-rate fertilization, which can help reduce chemical runoff and minimize environmental impact. But it's not a clear-cut case. The manufacturing process for modern tractors, with their complex electronics and sophisticated components, is far more energy-intensive than that of their simpler ancestors. So, while a modern tractor might be greener on a day-to-day basis, its overall environmental footprint might actually be larger when you factor in the entire life cycle of the machine. It's a classic case of swings and roundabouts. There's no easy answer, and the best choice for the environment often depends on a variety of factors, including the specific model of tractor, the type of farming being done, and the overall scale of the operation. Ultimately, it's about finding a balance between productivity, affordability, and sustainability. And that's a challenge that the agricultural industry will continue to grapple with for years to come. Well, there you have it. The battle of the tractors, vintage versus modern. As you can see, it's a close-run thing. Both types have their pros and cons, their strengths and weaknesses. Ultimately, the best tractor for you depends on your individual needs, budget, and priorities. If you're looking for a reliable workhorse that won't break the bank, and you're not afraid of a little grease under your fingernails, then a vintage tractor might be just the ticket. But if you're after the latest technology, comfort, and efficiency, and you're willing to pay a premium for it, then a modern marvel might be more your speed. Let me know in the comments which you prefer and why. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more agricultural adventures. Until next time, cheers!